Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Double, and today I wanted to give you all another GX100 set of patches. I have 4 patches that are just kind of inspired from some tones that I always like. One in particular is a heavy-duty thrash kind of patch. Inspired by these 2 albums. The tone that I was going for isn't exactly either one of these. Kind of both of them, I guess. It's my interpretation. And I just kind of felt like creating it, and I feel like I did a decent enough job that I would share it with you guys. And I also have 3 other patches. One of them is one that I already made available, but is a lot better. When I first created my first set of patches, one of the mistakes I made was the cabinet spread. I did all of these patches with 2 amplifiers, and I didn't realize that I had saved them with just a little bit of spread in the amplifier cabinet section, and it really kind of made it sound a little not so great in my opinion. So when you go over here to the mix section, that spread I've now put to 0 for all of my patches. I guess I had compensated kind of funny, and it just sounded fine while I was listening to it before, but now I kind of don't like the spread. I like a little bit more of the impact. So this TSL will have 4 patches. The first one is clean with options. All of these are going to have some options. I'll run through them real quick, but the first one is kind of a clean kind of a sound. And you can add some shimmer by hitting Control 1, which is nice. And it already has a little compression on it. And if you go into manual mode, hitting the first button, number 1, turns on overdrive. She turns that off. And while you're in manual mode, you can also turn off that chorus or turn it back on. You can turn off the reverb and you can turn off the delay. You can see those going off. I also have made all of these patches set up so that if you have an extra expression pedal, or if you're using the EV wireless setup from BOSS, like I have right here, the EV1WL, which also gives you 2 more switches, which for me is just wirelessly doing what you can do with a wired expression pedal and a couple of wired inputs going in there. I've made some of these options for control settings just a little bit easier to kind of get around, you know, because I like being in patch mode and just kind of be in there. That's me. Some people like to go over to manual mode, but I just like to kind of sit in the patch mode. So as you can see, everywhere I have CC numbers, CC1 is going to be the expression, I've changed all of the controls for the EV to 1 for the first expression pedal, 2 would be the switch to activate expression 2, and then CC3 is the second expression pedal. And so right now on most of these patches, I just have CC1 going on, and then it's going to be duplicated in a section that I have off, where you can actually do the same thing with the expression 2 inputs. So if you put in another expression pedal, you will then be controlling the level of the boost. So when you hit the current number, when you're in patch mode, when you hit current number, on all of these patches, it's going to pretty much activate the solo mode, except for the one solo patch. It will then turn solo mode off. But it's basically going to make it louder. And you can make that adjustable either at the 1 and 2 knobs for both of the preamp solo levels, or I have it set so that the expression pedal is going to do that. The extra expression pedal, not the one that's on board the unit. That's still set to volume and wah. And that's kind of the standard. I think a lot of people have it that way, but for all of these patches, that's how that is. Your extra expression would be controlling that solo level. It's just as accessible at your hands right there on knob 1 and 2. So don't feel like you can't use these patches just because of that. You know, it might give you an idea of some of the things you can do if you don't have some of that extra control available, and maybe it'll give you incentive to kind of explore it a little bit more. But this is basically 4 patches that we have. There's a kind of broken up clean sound. This first one is called low and tight with modulation. And then the second one I have is just plain old high and tight, a nod to high gain, tight, low end, and maybe my haircut. And then the same thing, when you hit the control, the current number, when you hit the current number for the patch. So for right now, I have this on patch 2. When I hit patch 2, you can see I activate some compression and overdrive, and I've also boosted the delay level just a bit. And that's going to be a lot like what high and tight solo is going to be. It's already going to have all of that, but it has this extra noise suppressor right here. I'll turn it on and off. Yeah, see that? So that's at the front end. That's probably one of the first places that you might want to go to tweak the solo patch, is to kind of hit that threshold up or down to right where you want it. You know, I have it set just right around there, just basic. But it basically helps me sustain, but then also keep it kind of quiet on that lead patch. And then you can see on just plain old high and tight, it does not have that. It actually does have a chorus option on this. So on the high and tight one, not the solo one, you can go and actually turn on chorus if you felt like it. But I don't use it on that patch. I tend to use chorus on more of the low gainy patches, which is why on low and tight mod, it's already turned on. And I actually, on this one, I have that pitch shifter, which is very subtle. I have it off on that just so it doesn't interfere. But on the high and tight one, I have the pitch shifter, which, as you can see, it's very subtle. It's really hardly doing anything. +7, +6 on the fine, just a little bit different, real fast. And then the effects level for each of them are just down to 10, and the direct level is all the way up to 100. And it just kind of doesn't give a chorus, but it gives a little bit of a doubling effect. It's just something I like. And then the high gain patch that I have that is inspired by the Thrash Masters, that one's going to be called Thrash Puppet. Yeah. It does have a noise suppression right there at the beginning, right after the compression. The threshold is, again, just low enough to grab the guitar and then quiet it up. and choke it down. And if you hit that same patch number, the current number, it is going to give us solo boost. And increase the delay, and then of course, wah wah. Control 1. Brings in a flanger. That Control 1 is going to bring in that kind of a slow flanger, that sanitary kind of sound. They didn't use a lot of effects back then. It was wah, delay, little bit of reverb, you know, right? On this one, I don't have a lot of reverb or delay, just enough to kind of just make it sound like it's in a room somewhere or a small stadium, right? But when you have the lead on it, the lead will bring up that delay level and then bring it back down. It's great. The stuff that you can do with this GX100 is great. I mean, you can see right there, I'm bringing the effect level just by hitting the current number. I have several assigns going on. So one of the things it does is it brings that delay way down when it's off, and then when I turn it on, it brings it up to 40. So that it's there and gives some space, you know. I hope you guys dig the sounds that I've come up with. It's kind of a nod to a lot of the tones that I really enjoy, especially those old school kind of sounds coming from new school equipment. This BOSS GX100, the TSL file, I will put a Google link to my shared drive, my shared documents, and it'll be in there. And there'll be, like I said, there'll be 4 patches, not 5, there'll be 4 patches available. In the GX100, you would go in and create the live set, and you would go over to that section there, the import. This one you're going to import. All 4 of these, or whichever one you want. Low and tight is going to be kind of low gain. High and tight is going to be high gain. Both of which have a lot of the same control options. If it's a plug-in control, I have it actually deactivated within the controls. I have a lot of these turned off. You see, you would go in and hit this, what is the power button. It looks like the power button. You turn on whatever it is not active. So right there, the one that I just turned on would be what you would want to turn on if you had a expression pedal and it was plugged into here, an external expression pedal, and you wanted to control the, in this case, the solo levels of the preamp. What have I done here? Oh, preamp level. Oh, I found an error. Preamp 2. Yeah, so, and this is, okay, yeah, so glad I looked. So, yeah, it's expression 2. You can go in and make it anything. There I actually had the amplifier set to go to change the amp levels. I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to what I normally do, which is 30. So, yeah, so for right now, this whole section is blued out. I'll just turn them on. Number 5 and 6, you see, that would be what you would turn on to activate expression 2 to be able to control the solo levels of your preamps. And as you can see there, right underneath there, current number is what is set to turn on the solo switch. When I upload it, that'll all be the same. That'll be the right way. So anyway, if that's the kind of stuff you like, if these sounds are your kind of thing, grab the TSL file from the Google link below. If you do download these and you're in the GX100 group, please make some sound clips. Feel free to share them up on that group and tag me in it. Let me know any tweaks that maybe you would make or that you did make to them. And I appreciate you being here at the channel, Double D Guitar. It's me, Double D. Take care.